Hey guys, well, we also welcome to My Way Tarot. This will be a general reading for all Pisces placements. Everything you need to know about myself, the reading, or the channel can be found in the description box below. So we're just going to use this deck for this reading today. This is the Modern Witch Tarot. So Angels of Love and Light, could please have clear and concise messages for all Pisces placements. What do they need to know, or what do they need to hear at this time for the current energies for whenever they come across these timeless tarot messages? What is it they need to know? What is it that they need to hear at this time, please? And thank you. Please bear in mind, guys, this is a general reading, so with the messages, only take what you feel resonates and leave the rest. And please use your own sense of discernment with the messages and not force them to fit with a particular situation. Just cutting up the deck for you now. We'll get into the reading. Okay, that really wanted to come through. Okay, that as well. Goodness. So we have, bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Swords with the Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and then the Hanged One, Pisces energy. There's you with the Four of Cups, Three of Cups. Okay. And then the two additional, it's more than two, sorry, three cards. We have the Ten of Cups, we have the Ace of Cups, and then we have the Three of Wands. Well, this is a really interesting kind of contrast in energy, okay? So I'm getting the appearance of something being some way when actually it's something entirely different. I'm getting that kind of saying of you don't really know what's going on behind closed doors for some reason, okay? Not everything is what it seems. I'm getting that kind of image of like happy families, right? But there's definitely some sort of complications to do with this. Like there's something a bit more complex about a particular situation, right? So from the outside eye, it may appear that everything is all, you know, kind of rosy here, but actually there could be more going on. I mean, not gonna lie, what family doesn't have issues, right? Or some sort of dysfunction. I mean, that's quite common now, isn't it? So there's always something, right? um I'm getting the sense of like keeping up appearances. So somebody may be feeling kind of fed up about keeping up appearances. They could be getting ready to walk away from a situation, because it's getting to the point now where somebody feels on some level that they're kind of self-sacrificing what it is that they truly want for themselves to kind of maintain an image of something, to keep for it to carry on in a certain way. And so I feel like there's a sense of longing or yearning to maybe move on from a scenario, or trying to think of a way out, or walk away from something here that's not all that it's cracked up to be. Okay. And so therefore there's been a lot of distress over this situation, because it's a sense of, well, what would the neighbors say, or what would others say about this, especially if it comes across like it's a decision that has been made out of nowhere, where actually I don't feel like this is just an impulsive thing. I feel like this is something that's been brewing for somebody for quite some time, and they may have been waiting for not necessarily an excuse, but there could have been something that they wanted to turn around in regards to their life, or they've been waiting for their ships to come in pertaining to something, so that then they can just kind of move themselves on forward here. I feel like somebody's not necessarily wanting to cause any conflict or chaos or drama with leaving of a particular scenario, but there could be the sense of, even though the purest of intentions are there to maybe leave of something amicably, or to try to make sure everyone's at peace to do with the decision, I feel like this could maybe only add fuel to the fire with whatever this is. It's the sense of like I don't know, I'm getting that energy of trying to just keep everything a certain way, or try to avoid confrontation or something like this, or maybe even make up some excuse or some sort, not necessarily like a lie, like a white lie, um but putting something else as the reason as to why somebody's made the decision, but actually that's not the root kind of cause or reason why they've made of this, because it's like they don't want to deal with any sort of potential backlash or what have you. Okay, interesting. It's like somebody has decided that they want more out of what they're currently dealing with. They want so much more, and where they're currently at or who they're currently dealing with is just not it. um I'm actually feeling like it's kind of, they're feeling the sense of ache, like they're aching, they're kind of maybe not in pain as such, like physical pain, but somebody just feels like they're at a loss. I'm getting like a damned if you do and damned if you don't type of thing. I mean, what's the lesser of two evils, right? So do I continue on in the trajectory that I am with dealing with a situation that I know wholeheartedly isn't right for me or where I'm supposed to be or feel like I'm supposed to be, but then don't want to deal with the sense of potentially it being brought upon me, like I'm sabotaging of something or ruining of something, or look to be like the villain in the piece or whatever it is? Or do I just kind of showcase and say, look, that I just don't feel right about whatever is going on here, and then moving on forward, and then other people potentially making things up about you or lying about certain things or twisting of the story or what? I feel like you guys kind of get what I mean. You either go for it and then face the potential consequences, supposedly, of what others may potentially project there out to you or to say to others, um, or stay where you're at type of thing. And I feel like it's got to a point where you've overstayed in a situation, and there's this sense of this ache of now wanting to have a fresh start or for things to be different, but you may have been trying to contemplate a way of going about it. I am getting a bit of anxious energy from someone, maybe a lot of overthinking here. But I know it's interesting because these cards, they do represent something very positive, but then, you know, in the undercurrent of the energy, we have this, which is what's actually bubbling underneath the surface of how supposedly things have been going or what they look like. So I feel like somebody's wanting a change and they're wanting to create something different for themselves, but they're not sure about what it is that they're leaving behind or what's going to be left behind if they do of this. I am getting a little bit of like feeling guilty energy for some reason, but I don't feel like you may necessarily have anything to feel guilty about, but it's just something that's cropping up for some reason. But anyway, what's going on here? 1010 just come on the timer, so it's like closing of cycle and then beginning of a new one. Yeah, again, 10 of cups. You want to go after your genuine wish fulfillment, your dreams to be fully realized, and there could have been a scenario that may have been that potential at one point, but there seems to be this sense of a disconnect, that it's not maybe what you want anymore, but there's a disconnect here, or there's a sense of disassociation from whatever this is. Okay, what's going on here for Pisces? Some of you have wanted to move, okay? Strength card, Leo energy. 6 of Pentacles, 1111 just come up on my timer. I feel like you're having to kind of dig on deep and have the courage to know that it's important not just to settle with whatever it is that you have as of right now. I feel like it's time for you to step out, okay, and go after your genuine wish fulfillment. That's what I was picking up on. Me have 9 of Cups. I feel like you're somebody that has very good intentions. You have a lot of purity about you. You're very wholesome, okay? And I feel that you haven't made the decision lightly, but you know it may potentially cause some sort of upset to others. But at the end of the day, you have to live your life for you. So I feel like you've made a decision here where you're stepping forward and following of your heart and trusting of your intuition with where it is you're feeling called to go, okay? Because look, with the 10 of Swords, everything is fine. It really hasn't been fine. I was getting that energy before, right? I'm hearing, is this all there is? Is this all I'm ever going to have? So there's a sense of wanting more, desiring more for yourself. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles. Okay, these flew out. We have the 4 of Cups. We have the Star, Aquarius energy. Okay. And this wanted to show through. We have the Empress, Taurus, Libra energy. And then we have the Hangman, the Hangman, Pisces. There's you at the bottom of the deck. I mean, this is beautiful. But you've definitely been sacrificing yourself in some sort of way. Maybe you've even sabotaged certain opportunities that you didn't want to necessarily sabotage, but maybe you felt like you didn't have much choice in the matter because of certain circumstances that you were dealing with. So therefore, there could have been a lot of reflection on making a particular decision at some point to continue on in a certain way rather than to do something about it previously when the opportunity presented itself. So maybe there's been this energy of, well, what if? Maybe you felt like by making the decision that you did about something that it was the right decision at the time, but you're feeling pretty over it now. And now looking back, it's like, well, actually, I'm hearing, did I really screw things up for myself, or did I really ruin something to the point of no return? I'm just hearing. So I feel like there's been a lot of questioning here. What's to go underneath the 5 of Pentacles here, please? 7 of Swords. Yeah, this is to do also with sabotage. Avoiding of something. With the Wheel of Fortune, there may have been an underlying reason as to why you made a decision previously, or this is somebody that may be pertaining to you quite possibly, because there was some sort of spiritual lesson to be learnt, some sort of karma to go through. So somebody could be looking back and wondering why they made a decision in the way that they did, and then not kind of wholly realizing it was actually because they still had something that they needed to heal or work through with whatever they were dealing with at the time. And if they had made them a decision that now they're looking back and thinking to themselves that they wish that they had made, they would have missed out on learning what they needed to learn in order to grow and to evolve. And now that this person whether this is you or somebody else, has come through the other side, and now looking back in retrospect like, well, gosh, that wasn't that fun to go through, as an understatement. And what if I had just made that other decision before? Then I could have avoided so much of the things that I went through. But actually there's a deeper, there's more layers to this. This is what I'm hearing. Okay. What's to go underneath the Four of Cups? So Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, Sagittarius placements could be significant as well. What's to go underneath the Four of Cups, please, and thank you. Seven of Wands. And then the Wheel of Fortune again. Yeah. So there was definitely some sort of trials or tribulations or challenges to be faced with by going through a karmic cycle. Okay. And if somebody hadn't kind of learnt of their lessons or gone through of it or tried to evade of these particular things, avoid them, right, then they would just be coming back around and making a bigger impact if they weren't being dealt with or learnt through. Okay, yeah, there would have just been more, I'm hearing insult to injury. It's like the sense of, with the Ten of Swords and the Nine of Wands, like, it's like the universe was like, look, we had some sort of part to play in this as well, that there was still something to do with your personal journey of self-discovery that hadn't been completed as of yet, in order for there to be the elevation. Okay, or maybe even to bring in a relationship or a connection here with that Two of Cups. So maybe there was a separation of sorts, or what have you. That's the vibe. Yeah, 1111 coming through with the Four of Wands. Maybe to do with a high level soulmate, past life connection, or twin flame energy could be resonating here for someone as well. Yeah, there had to be a transformation. In order for there to be the rebirth, there had to be the death process first, in order to bring out the Ace of Pentacles with the Ace of Swords and Judgment, before maybe a coming together between two people. This has all been divinely orchestrated. What else here, please? So I want to look into the Strength card. Just saw the Eight of Wands. Why is the Strength card here? We have Death, Scorpio energy. We have the Ace of Swords. Someone had to go through a huge transformation, okay? Most likely a spiritual awakening or the dark night of the soul. Somebody had to go through something quite profound here in regards to their healing, because not everything was what it seemed. I feel like the bare bones of the truth of a situation had to come to light, and somebody needed to take the time to see a situation or multiple situations in their life for what they truly were, rather than potentially living a lie or living in some sort of illusion, whether this is to do with you or somebody that's, you know, closely to you, like associated, or maybe somebody that you're potentially romantically interested in, or however it goes. Okay, but somebody, look at that, rose tinted glasses needed to come off, the blindfold needed to come off. Yeah, healing was definitely necessary for somebody with that Four of Swords, like a time out. What else for the Strength card? I'll take one more, please. Thank you. Nine of Swords. Somebody also had to go through a process of recognizing they're not a victim in a situation. Somebody had to come through into this position and place of claiming their sense of sovereignty, their autonomy, with that Taurus energy, with the Hierophant, Knight of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. There's you again. I'm getting something to do with mastery of one's emotions here, mastery of one's thoughts. I'm getting something to do with the heart chakra and the throat chakra, maybe even the solar plexus chakra. I'm getting something to do with, there was a lot of work that needed to be done on those. There had been some sort of lingering kind of trauma or wounds from previous experiences that needed to be addressed, needed to be evaluated here with the world, looked into, researched before a closure of a cycle. Okay, yeah, there were definitely some sort of major tower moments for somebody where their whole world kind of dramatically changed, got flipped upside down. But I'm hearing so that they could claim their power back and see themselves as the victor rather than the victim. And that even though they went through some very debilitating things, they came through stronger than ever, more resilient than ever. Why is the star here, please and thank you? Why is the star here, please and thank you, for Pisces? Seven of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Why is the star here, please? And the Seven of Pentacles. 777 is coming through. 717 as well. And then the King of Cups. There was a lesson to do with like self-love and self-worth, and also in regards to something related to self-preservation. Self-preservation. It's like kind of going on this particular journey and finding that sense of hope, that sense of faith, and trusting a process. I feel like somebody has definitely come out the other side, like there is light at the end of the tunnel. They may not be fully in their new life as of yet, but they're very much on the precipice, about to have this breakthrough and be on the receptive end of so much goodness for them. Okay, yep, Six of Swords. Things are going to be getting a lot easier, a lot more settled, feeling more confident, feeling more self-assured, having that sense of high self-esteem. I'm hearing, knowing exactly who they are, what it is that they want, what they want to go after for their life. Okay, I'm getting something to do with healing the inner child has also been quite significant here as well. What can we get here for the Empress, please and thank you? Three of Cups. Three of Swords. Look, 333 is also coming through with the Devil. Capricorn energy and the Four of Wands. Okay, so some of you have dealt with scenarios that have been very destructive, very negative, quite toxic here is an understatement. But I feel like you've kind of claimed your power back. I feel like you're somebody who has learnt so much through something that you've been experiencing, and it has challenged you at the best of times to see whether you were going to be someone who would kind of step up to the plate and be ready for the next level up that was coming through for you. And I feel like you're about to be rewarded because you may have recently passed some sort of significant test. You kind of may be aware of whatever this is, or you may not necessarily be aware of it. But there's something quite important here that you've done as of lately, something that you've healed or you've recognized within yourself, or something to do with a different scenario that is kind of related to you in some way, if it's like to do with family or to do with your work or to do with your finances or to do with your health. I feel like there's something you've come to terms with or come to a place of acceptance about, because you can't change the past, but you're not letting the past kind of dictate your future. And I feel like you're going to be boldly and courageously moving forward in a way. And I'm getting this kind of like unstoppable force type of energy. And I feel like you've had, a lot that you've been kind of coming up against. There may have been many times where you felt very much on guard, or you've had to keep guard of a situation. You could be upping your protection as of this time, protecting of your energy, or you're trying to assert yourself in certain ways, to showcase you're not somebody to be kind of walked all over. I just heard, right? You're no doormat. I feel like there's something that you're wanting to express to a particular person or maybe a group of people, and this kind of may pain you to do this, and some of you are actually going to do it and maybe confront of someone, um, but then potentially this may cause more hassle than it's worth if by doing so. So potentially you may be keeping certain things to yourself and moving forward in quiet confidence and not necessarily confronting of someone, but and stand in your own truth with whatever it is that you've been dealing with or you've gone through. And if anyone's got anything to say about you or about a decision that you have made, then fine, let them ruminate whatever they want. I feel like you've got into this position and place where, like, well, look, I know and see exactly how a scenario is, and no, I'm not going to go and confront of a situation, because then there's the potential for whoever I would be confronting, if I am, for them to try to manipulate of a situation or twist of certain things, or try to say that I'm getting like an example of somebody berating your memory in some sort of way, or that never happened, or you're just this, or you're just that, etc. You're overlooking into this, or you're sensitive to that, or what have you, and kind of, I don't know, I'm getting like a quite a controlling energy, like somebody um yeah, I am getting maybe a quite domineering energy, somebody who's not willing to take accountability or responsibility for hurt that they may have caused, or potentially they are completely delusional and think that they've never done anything wrong in their life when they've done so much. And I'm hearing that they will never change and they're never going to see it from your perspective. So there's no point wasting your breath, wasting your energy trying, because they're never going to see things from your end. And so I feel like there's a sense of acceptance about this, and just kind of counting your I'm hearing your losses and learning of those particular lessons to do with that scenario, that dynamic, and then moving yourself on forward and walking in your truth. I am getting that vibe. Some of you may decide to go little or no contact with someone in particular. Yeah, absolutely, with the Two of Cups. You may have been like, I've tried of everything. I'm hearing this is like the last resort. So it's literally like you've been do everything you possibly can to keep something you know, calm or keep something, but maybe you felt like you haven't been respected or appreciated, or you may have felt like, I don't know, just maybe not felt valued. And I feel like you're fed up with this, so you're over it and you're moving on. This could really genuinely be to do with um, either a romantic relationship or a family connection or something to do with work. But I am getting strong family potentially here with the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. So I'm getting like karmic family member type of energy, trickster energy with the Magician. Any other final messages for Pisces? The Fool, Aries energy, the Eight of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. I'm hearing if you choose yourself and you move yourself forward, obviously not necessarily causing harm to yourself or anyone else, you have so much that's kind of lining up and working out for you. Yeah, with the Sun, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. This is the happiest card in the deck. Okay? Yeah, what did I say? If you walk away or leave something behind, I'm hearing you won't regret it. I'm hearing you're going to feel light as a feather. Yeah, you see this person carrying all of this load. You're going to be dropping this load. You're going to be offloading all of this that you've been carrying. Obviously, you haven't physically been carrying a load of things, like it's evidently like you've got this massive, you know, backpack that you're carrying around with you all the time. But what I mean is like any emotional burden that you feel like you've been carrying, or emotional baggage, or what from other people, or whatever it is. I feel like you're done and you're like, why am I doing this? I don't need to settle for this. I don't need to stay in this. F this. And you're off. Because I feel like there's a lesson in here somewhere where you're like, I am worthy and deserving of having a full, happy life and doing what I want to do and how I want to live. So I feel like you've made a conscious decision where you're like, well, do you know what? If it does mean that I'm disowned or I'm shunned out or I'm rejected and people are saying this and people are doing that, and, you know, I'm getting people communicate with me in certain ways that are really not nice, etc. Um, because I've made a certain decisions. But we're going back to the point of that before things didn't appear as they seemed, right? Which you already intuitively knew that with the High Priestess. I mean, you're privy to information here that they're not privy to. Or they are knowing of whatever this is that has been going on, but they're turning a blind eye to it or ignoring their intuition to call something out, right? They know the secrets as well, potentially. And if they do know of certain things, then all they're doing, if they're just enabling other people's behavior or enabling of a situation, then that's just as toxic as whoever else has been doing what they've been doing, if you get what I mean. Anyway, final messages for Pisces. I feel like you're choosing yourself and you're not going to feel bad about it either. You know, life's short, isn't it? As I say, that Ten of Swords. Life's short. You're not going to be in your head about whether I should do this or whether I should do that and I should have listened to so and so and what have you. I feel like you're just going to have this quietening of all the noise and checking in with yourself, making a decision, and then moving yourself on forward, because something obviously clearly isn't working for you and you're wanting something else. Something that brings you a lot more peace and balance and harmony, safety, security, stability in your life. Final message. 5 of Cups. There is light at the end of the tunnel, okay? The glass is going to be half full rather than half empty. Yes, you probably have had to learn lessons the hard way, okay? Yeah, there's definitely been some tower moments, but I feel like there'll be sense of looking back in retrospect, realizing that they were part of the path, part of the journey, and that they've brought you to where you are now. And I'm hearing that the worst is over. And you're ready to create something else, create something new for yourself, and align with people that do actually resonate with you. Yeah, people that are wanting to be just as generous to you as you are with them, with others. Okay, and then there's you with the High Priestess, Cancer, Pisces energy. So you're in this transitional phase right now. Again, transitional phase. Just try to stay grounded, try to stay balanced, just check in with yourself, right, as often as you can, and figure out what makes you truly happy. And there's nothing wrong that if you're wanting to separate yourself from certain individuals or not be as social, and get into this hermit mode, then there's nothing wrong in that either. Just to give yourself that sense of privacy, that sense of space and retreat, then go for it here with the Four of Pentacles. You know, everyone at some point in their life, or most people, do go through a period of isolation. You know, most likely to heal from certain things that they've gone through in their past, or they give themselves a break, you know? They heal, they give themselves a break. We all need that time from time to time, right? But if you have been in this energy of healing, right, and you've been on the spiritual journey, the spiritual awakening, the dark night, the soul, etc., and you have been on your own and you haven't been out much, and you've been very much focusing on that sense of, you know, your soul mission, soul purpose, what have you, right, then you could be getting into an energy where you are genuinely actually ready for the tables to turn and to feel like you're starting afresh, to start new again, and embracing what life has to offer without having to deal with all the other things that have happened in your past, and that to be just kind of dealt with. King of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. I'm hearing that you may have even gone through a period of time where, or you're considering it, you could be going through a period of time where you either have been very focused in the material world and it's all been about, you know, trying to create the sense of reputation or status for yourself, or have more you know, assets, or something to do with, you know, your 3D reality, right? And you could be then focusing more on your emotional and spiritual journey, or you could have already been doing of this, focusing on the emotional spiritual journey and the healing, etc., and you may have gone a long time where you haven't necessarily had the finances or the resources, or what it is that you've been desiring for here, to then match up with the work that you've done internally to come through externally. Then all of that inner work is paying off, your hard work has paid off, and then you're about to be very, very stable and be in a position and place to provide yourself with the kind of life that you're wanting to provide for yourself, or build for yourself, or secure for yourself. Okay, very, very interesting energy coming through for you guys today. So obviously this is a general reading, only take me full resonates and leave the rest. And please use your own sense of discernment with the messages and not force them to fit with a particular situation. But we have Virgo, Cancer, Pisces, Capricorn, Taurus, Libra, Aquarius, Leo. Most signs coming through, to be honest. 555, 666, 444, 777, 33, 333, 717 888 999. It's like all the numbers. You could have been seeing so many at this point in time. But that's going to be the end of the reading. So I hope that there have been some messages, a few messages, if not the whole reading, that resonated. If you have enjoyed this reading and you wish to support myself and the channel, there are donation links available. There is a PayPal link in the description box below, and the other option is Super Thanks, which is listed underneath this video. So thank you so much for those of you who have already donated. I greatly appreciate you. Even if you don't financially donate, a wonderful way to energetically donate is to like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll get back to you guys in those comments when I can. I do enjoy reading those, so thank you so much. Please hit the notification bell so you get an alert as to when I post another video for you and you don't miss out on future updates or content made available on the channel. And also, guys, if you feel inclined to do so, please feel free to check out the other individual zodiac sign readings that I provide for the other placements in your birth chart, potentially Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, or North Node, to gain that further insight for the timeless tarot messages. But sending love and light your way, many blessings. Please take care, and I'll see you and speak to you soon. Thank you. Bye, guys.